Yeah. Good evening, all. I welcome you to the 38th session of the CENTA webinar series for teachers and principals. COVID-19 has affected students and teachers both directly as well as indirectly. Beyond getting sick, in many cases, our social, emotional, mental well-being has been impacted by the pandemic, especially when it comes to remote learning and the whole process of remote teaching and learning. So, over the course of the next 1 hour or so, we are going to see how schools as institutions can find ways and means to take care of their students and teachers during this difficult period of practicing remote learning. We have a really special facilitator with us today, Ms. Paramjeet Kaur Dhillon. Welcome, ma'am. Great to have you with us.
Thank you.
Uh, just a quick introduction. Ms. Paramjeet Kaur Dhillon has been working as the principal of Kamla Nehru Public School, Punjab since the 1st of December 2006. She has over 26 years of experience being a principal in different schools across the country. Well read and well traveled, Ms. Paramjeet has visited 14 countries thus far. She is a globally validated master trainer on 21st century core skills by British Council UK, and she's also a British Council School Ambassador. She is also a Microsoft Innovative Educator Trainer and Fellow. In her capacity as a resource person of CBSE, British Council, and Microsoft, she has trained over 1,200 educators across India. Ms. Paramjeet has also initiated IT transformations in schools, and she's considered a pioneer in mapping entire school curriculum with United Nations 17 Sustainable Development Goals. She's also represented Kamla Nehru Public School at the United Nations Trustee Council at the UN headquarters in New York. She's also participated in the Innovations and Sustainable Development Goals Monitoring Committee at Ford Foundation in New York, USA. Ms. Paramjit currently holds the chair of SDG Edu Chopal, the education wing of SDG Chopal, which is dedicated to support the national and state governments and institutions on advocacy and community engagement for SDG, which is Sustainable Development Goal implementation in India. It is indeed an honor to have you with us today, ma'am, and all of us are looking forward to a brilliant session. Just a couple of things before we start. One, just a quick announcement on the feedback form. We will share it in the the live chat section at around 5:45, 5:50. So please keep an eye on that and please fill that in so that we can send you your acknowledgement record of participation via email by noon tomorrow. So please keep an eye on that. The same form is also going to be available on my center, the same place that you used to register for the session, which is m.center.org from your mobile browser. So please make a note of that. The second thing is we have something very exciting for you. After the session gets over at 6 p.m. today, which is a surprise quiz with a few exciting prizes. So please stay back till around 6:15, 6:20, and please take please participate in the quiz, and I'm sure it'll be fun. And yeah, actually three things. The third thing is today I'll be helping Paramjeet ma'am with her screen sharing. We were having some issues with a laptop in terms of screen sharing, so I'll be helping her navigate through the presentation. So I have another screen open in front of me, so I may still see your questions. I'll still keep and try, to keep track of your questions. But in case you feel that there's something I've missed, and you definitely you're keen to get an answer for that question, please feel free to type that again when we open up the session for questions, and we'll Paramjeet ma'am will definitely try to answer those. So having said that, that's pretty much from my side. Paramjeet ma'am, over to you.
Yeah, let's share the screen.
Sure.
Will be sharing my screen. So let's
Sure.
share the screen. So, good evening, my beloved teachers. It's an honor, it's a privilege, and it's a matter of pride to speak to all of you today. The role of schools during COVID-19 pandemic. Taking a second to just, make it full screen. Yeah. So what's the role of schools during COVID-19 pandemic? The school never knew about this role earlier, the previous one. The school never knew about this particular role earlier. Pandemic never occurred in our lifetimes. How do we know what to do when the pandemic occurs? But then, what was the role of schools during the COVID-19 pandemic? The role of the schools all over the world was to rise up. Rise up for good health and well-being of both the students and teachers. Rise up and provide that quality education which everybody was expecting and looking forward to. Rise up and build tomorrow today. And what's that tomorrow? That's nothing but our very own children build them up for tomorrow, where they're going to spend, rest of their life. As we say, future is the place where everybody spends the rest of their lives. So for our children, we need to rise up. The school had to reinvent themselves, and that's what they should be doing it. They had to reimagine schooling. In these educational institutions where we have done a B.Ed, we never knew what to do when remote learning happens. But then we all did rise up. Yes, and that's what the schools did, rising up uh, during the COVID-19 pandemic. Yes, it was nothing but building resilience. Resilience, perhaps it's the modern day test for leadership, for teachers, for everybody. And resilience is nothing but, responding positively to any adversity which rises up. And the adversity was nothing but this COVID-19 pandemic. Then what if it was pandemic? Learning had to continue. No lockdown for learning. Then what if there was pandemic? The schools were closed. Learning had to continue. Then what if there was pandemic? The classroom had to go on. Then what if we were staying at home and the children were there at home? Learning had to be done online remotely. And all of us, we did do this. The schools did do it. All of a sudden we rose up, the schools rose up, all possible manners, ways by which we can go for remote learning, it happened. Every school, everywhere in this world did rise up in their own capacities, in their own ways, so that remote learning could be continued. Yes, please. Now, building resilience is one thing, how to start, and then even how to continue. And then this continuation, what to do, how to go about it. I'll be sharing many examples of what we did in our school, in Kamlan Public School, and how we did, building resilience. How did we build up the resilience? What did our school do? Maybe every school has a story to share. And here am I to share the story, what school should do and what we did during this COVID-19 times. We decided we have to prepare our children for the tomorrow. That tomorrow which you have not seen, that tomorrow which I have not seen, which we have not seen, but that tomorrow which is wherein the children would be needing the 21st century skills. And we focused on those skills. At least we are going to prepare them for some skills. And the skills, the 21st century skills as they are, it is collaboration. So lots of collaboration happened. And then it is skilled communication. And after skilled communication, if I name a few, knowledge construction is another skill which was required to be taught to the children. Self-regulation, they ought to be responsible for their own academic excellence, for their own development and for their own growth and for their own decision-making. Real-world problem solving is one thing which all of us have experienced during this pandemic time. How to solve this, this no lockdown for education, how to continue our education is a real-life problem which you, me, and all of us sorted and solved. Using some innovative ways. And of course, the use of ICT is an important 21st century skill which is required. During this journey of developing these 21st century skills amongst the students, which all schools I'm sure are doing with the plenty of collaborative projects they might be having in their schools, the teachers also develop these 21st century skills. They develop the collaborative spirit, Normally what happens, we never have time to do so much of collaboration in the face-to-face mode. But come remote learning, I'm helping you and you are helping me, and together we are preparing our presentations, our lessons. So much of collaboration happened when it came to the teachers. 21st century skills were developed by them, by the teachers as we moved on. And what is this 21CLD? It is 21st century learning designs. It is what type of lessons should we prepare so that the 21st century skills I talked about just now is developed. So we practice this and we actually went for having lessons which could help the children to develop these skills. Yes, please. What else could the school do during this pandemic time? Let's encash this pandemic. Let's encash this tiring times, these difficult times. And what was the most possible thing and what was necessary was empower educators. I'm sure every school must have gone for some online courses. Every school must have held the hand of the teachers and developed their ICT skills. And that's exactly what we did in our school also. We decided, let's empower ourselves. What a beautiful culture we have in our school, and what wonderful educators we have in our school. The proud moment for this principal when she talks about her teachers and how they rose up for this occasion. We are a Microsoft Showcase school, and we believe a lot in SDGs. We practice and preach and promote SDGs. These colorful borders which you see on my presentation are the 17 colors, and they stand for the 17 goals. A little about the goals before we move ahead. These 17 goals are the goals which the United Nations organization has shared and promised for a better world if we practice those goals. In 193 countries, in 2015, signed these goals, and India is one of them. All right. And so, taking further empowerment of educators, so we decided, that we'll go for and become MI experts. That's Microsoft Innovative Educator Experts. All of us applied, and 85 out of 87 nearly, 85 of them could actually be MI experts, which speaks volumes of the culture of the school and the willingness to learn. So that's the type of team we have in a school. And then this Adobe Creative Educator Level 1, 65 of us have cleared. Some of us have gone to Adobe level, Creative Educators Level 2, and some of us are doing the Creative 1. Creativity, ICT skills were being honed for the students and the teachers during this COVID time. 29 Microsoft certified educators means we are expert when it comes to 21 CLD, that is developing lessons which would inculcate 21st century skills. So then, of course, holding hands and the entire school moving in the same direction. And then, of course, we have 25 sustainable development ambassadors who are working for sustainable development, all, courtesy SDG Chopal, and of course SDG Edu Chopal, the wing, the education wing. And we have 4 Adobe certified associates. These teachers, I remember they did not sleep for 3 nights. They said, ma'am, such a short notice and we just wanted to clear. 4 of them sat and 4 of them cleared. Yes, please. That's the culture. Empowerment of educators is what we did and what every educator should do when it comes to pandemic. Yes, please. That was about the educators. And what should school do when it comes to the students? Engage them. Engage them positively. Engage them in all possible manner. Engage them to hone their ICT skills. Engage them for self-regulations. And that's exactly what we did in our school. Yes, please. We had n number of activities. We started collaborating and we approached the UNODC. Samarth Pathak, who's a communication officer, and we said we'd like to collaborate with them. Yes, please. And we went for a number of activities. See, what if it's pandemic? Who can stop you if you want to move ahead in life? If you want to take your children to a destination which they dream of, to where you want them to see, to a level where you'll be so happy and satisfied. So we had n number of activities when it comes to, so this is, you can see the PJ celebrations which we had. Yes, please. We can move on. And then see, this was, how we involved the 9th to 12th classes in a big way. So we had this panel discussion, and all my children of 9 to 12, they did witness this, and it was all online. Being a Microsoft Showcase school, we are using Teams app, and Teams app is fabulous. We have been using since 2nd of April when we started a remote learning with a bang, Before that, lots of practice sessions, lots of mock drills. But yes, we started from second. So jobs on at risk, online panel discussion. See, the mental health was taken care of. They were usefully occupied, promoting SDG and youth action on 4th of May, COVID-19. So this is what we did. This was for my 9th to 11th, and the children were all there. Yes, please. And then it was online paper presentation of 9th of May. We just started in April, but we had all these activities. Usefully occupied were my children. And that's what all schools should do during pandemic. Make sure the children are occupied. So this was impact on human rights, peace, and the rule of law. When the children researched, and then they wrote the papers just like a research paper. And we had about 15 odd children who put the papers in front of the grade 9th and 10th, and this is what we did. Yes. And then we had, we wanted some creativity in some other form also. So we went for online self-composed poetry event. So children wrote, the topic was life after COVID-19. Visualize what would happen. So they and that was too early to visualize. See, we've already traveled in totality 7 months, but that was hardly, when we were doing this in May and June, hardly 2 months had elapsed, and then they had to imagine. So they all wrote their poems, and the self-composed poem they spoke in the classroom, and that was a wonderful creativity which they developed. The writing skills were there. Yes. And not to miss the fun, we said, let's do some rapping here. So they did go for the raps, and all these children, they tried to dress up like rappers. And then they had this grade 11, and they self-composed rap songs. They did sing it out, speak it out, as you said. And the present situation, COVID-19 lockdown, this was on 16th of June. So you can well imagine how happy my children were rapping around and writing these songs. Imagine, the creativity which was developed, beautifully occupied. That's what I believe in, and that's what we did. And I'm sure every school in their own capacities must have done, involving the students in one of those 21st century skills, creativity. Yes, please. And then reinventing learning is something very important. So when it comes to remote learning, we never knew, none of us knew how to go about beforehand. Of course, we did plan, we started planning from December 19 when COVID happened in China. We planned that, we'll go for remote learning. But actually, we had never traveled this far. We said we're going to use Teams, let's prepare our lessons, everything was being done. But actually, only when you travel apart, you know what are the hassles, what are the challenges. So we started with one session for each class, and we started from 2nd of April, being Monday, I think. Yeah, we started from 2nd of April, and then it was one session daily, and we thought it was challenging. We were doing it for the first time, and we started with it. And soon we realized this one session wasn't enough. We need to do 2 sessions. We started doing 2 sessions. We were reinventing learning and teaching process as we were going on this path. And soon we had 2 sessions. And then we realized the 9 to 12 need to have 3 sessions. Let's not have that 1 hour session which we started. It will be too much of a screen time at one go. So let's break up these sessions. And it was learning from your own experience. And then we went for breaking up the sessions. And today we have for 9 to 12, we've gone for 3 sessions as such. And as we moved ahead, we found that are all children really into it, this learning part? Should we do something more with this? What can we do? We started having office hours. And what are these office hours? After a theory lesson, where the teacher, we are having synchronous learning, by the way, where the teacher is speaking in her house and every child is listening in their own houses. And a background of my school, we're situated in a village as such, and we're catering to children from 65 villages, and many of them are first generation learners. The parents have gone abroad, to greener pastures. to earn and give a better livelihood for their children. So that's what Punjab is known for. So that's it. So they had gone over there. So these children, they have stars in their eyes and they just want to do everything possible. So we went in for office hours, and so that the children could actually understand everything. So once the lesson is over, the teacher is still in contact about 30 minutes to 40 minutes, and the child says, "Ma'am, you taught this. Can you please explain it again?" So they are in conversation just to clear the doubts, right? After that, after having office hours for some time, we found that it's all right. We found it's okay, and then we went for some well-being class. So reinventing education was all that we did. We went for some art integration classes. We went for some student-led classes where students would take the session. I need to keep a eye on the time. Yes. And so co-teaching also happened. Teachers started using whiteboards, and we started correlating everything to SDG 3 and SDG 4. SDG 3 being good health and well-being, and SDG 4 being quality education. We not only went for reinventing the classroom teaching, we went for re-evaluation also. So when we went for reinventing evaluation, in that case, what we did was that our purpose was, the children learning fine, academics fine, but let us hone their IT skills so that children could use all possible IT tools, and that's exactly what we did. We, keeping in mind the mental health and well-being, what we did was to have an extended evaluation, not that typical pen paper type. We wanted 21st century skills to be developed. And so what we did, we said the entire curriculum at one go evaluation, sorry, no. So these two chapters will be having evaluation using the open book test. These two will have Minecraft would be used. These two we are going to use for Microsoft Forms. This would be Adobe Spark. We made sure that every child knew all these tools, so that, apart from, and then it was such a good thing to happen, because now children are so good in their IT skills, and so are the teachers, because when they had to evaluate them, they had to do it themselves also. So those great teachers, beloved teachers, they did all this, and it's a proud moment today sharing. Yes, please. And then, being an SDG school, as we call ourselves, we wanted to celebrate this global goals week. This is the fifth year, the fifth anniversary, 2015 to 2020. This is the sixth birthday celebrations of SDGs, and then we had a whole week-long celebrations. Yes, please. We went for this, complete this sentence, I love SDG. And the best part was that during this time, we were able to take our 7th to 12th on Twitter. Whatever activity they did, they would tweet. And the Twitter was flooded. SDG Action website was flooded with the tweets from our school. And thanks to the children, thanks to the teachers, we all could do it. Yes. Here we hurry up. Yes, so we did this, and then see, I support SDG number. I love SDG number 5, gender equality, because it supports every gender and gives an opportunity to show their potential. So this was some of the tiles the children prepared and they tweeted. And where the children were younger than 13 years, the teachers tweeted for them. All of us are on Twitter. The entire staff is on Twitter. Yes, please. Usefully engaged, that's what I say. And then compose a jingle. So that was also interesting, because all these were our partners. We had this Mahatma Gandhi Institute of Education and Peace and Kindness Matters in SDG Japan. We were partners, and we had some schools from Delhi and a hub schools also. And we had about 8 schools to 10 schools, I think it was 9 schools as such. And we all participated in the online activities. Yes, please. And then we went for this cartoon strips also when it came, comic strips. And the children did prepare the comic strips, and they tweeted again a particular goal, whichever they liked, they tweeted on that particular goal. Yes, please. And then we had this International Day of Peace celebrations, where we took our kindergarten and our primary classes, and they put up a show, and we had a real, the parents were also invited for this. Yes, please. You can see my little one. They did some art activities. These are kindergarten children, so it was not that we're going to involve only the seniors as such, we involved every class as such. Yes. Yes, please. And then this was fabulous, quatrain, 4 lines on self-composed quatrain, 4-line poem on a favorite SDG goal. Yes, please. I think I'll read one of them. Why was I born an obstacle? Why is being a woman considered as one? For I can learn and I am capable, yet none of it would matters for I am not a son. Some real ones, some they would quote from somewhere, but we had so many quatrains and we all tweeted, "You're welcome to check it up." Everyone is invited to check it and like it. Yes, please. So this was a week-long celebrations. And then sloganation, where they had to write a slogan also. Yes, please. And all this went online. So where the children couldn't do it, the teachers did for them. I'll read one of the slogans. I love SDGs. 1, 2, 3. Water is not free. Everyone should pay. You, they, and we. And it is grade, I think, 5th B class child has done it. So we have plenty of slogans as such. Yes, please. And it's just reinventing how the school has to run. And then, of course, we act for SDGs. So we talked about climate action and what have you been doing, plant a sapling. So they did it, they colored their pots, they were all occupied. The parents were so happy, the children are usefully occupied and doing constructive things, they're learning values. So that's it. Yes, please. Yeah, and then, we went for ramp walk. Right from kindergarten to grade 12, we had ramp walk for these SDGs. So one day was ramp walking. So the children would walk in the house carrying some banner, some poster or some goal, and they would come walk the ramp and come forward and say, I love this particular goal because of this, right? And grade 12 also enjoyed and grade 1 also enjoyed. Just imagine, the parents were making these posters, the teachers were not. The parents were helping the children. What a great collaboration we learned. What trust has been developed during this particular time. What faith in the two, all the stakeholders of a school developed during this pandemic time. That's what was required. Engaging the parents was another purpose when the ramp walk was being done. So you can just imagine how excited the parents were, how excited the children were. And you know what? We would play, one of the parent would play the music. And whenever the child, and we did rehearse also. And when the child would walk, the music was there. Just imagine they considered themselves as great, the Bindas, models walking there with the SDG goal in the hand. So that was great. Yes, thank you. Move ahead, please. This is very, very important. It's the well-being call. Teams call, well-being call for all the teachers. What can the school do? School can keep the flock together. School can build trust and faith amongst the team. School can build their teams. And that's what we exactly did. 19th March was the last day when we were there in the school. And from 20th March till this date, 7 months have passed, but we have the well-being staff call every day, wherein we share our success stories, wherein we share our challenges which we faced, wherein the presenter says, I lost my connection, and the co-presenter jumped in and shared the screen. That's what happens in remote learning. That's building collaborative spirit and collaboration and developing that skilled communication when the teachers are giving their lessons as such. And that's it. And during this well-being call, a teacher would say, today I could not log in. I don't know what went wrong. My screen froze. And the other one would say, the other teacher, did you try this? If this happens, this is the solution. We were helping each other. The hand-holding was going on. And this is the time and lots of appreciation from the principal went to the teachers. Thank you, my beloved teachers, I would say. Proud of you. If somebody Even this family of KNPs was affected by COVID. We had people in our families affected. The teacher could not take the lesson, but the fellow teacher would rise up and take the lessons. And it was all the well-being call when we would say, let's support our team. So that was the staff well-being call. Yes, please. And this is what we do, some naughty tricks we do. This is Teams and this is the together mode where we switch on our cameras and say, come on, let's see each other. So many days have passed and we see each other and we talk to each other. That's well-being call. That's connection. That's seeing the smile on the faces of your teachers. That's, every day it's a audio call. But once in a blue moon, and the moon is often blue, that's what the teachers say we should have it at more shorter intervals. So well-being calls are interesting calls. It keeps us together. Yes, please. And this is the students' well-being call. So once the lesson is over, the class is over, every day the class teacher talks to the children. And that is the well-being call, where we are not supposed to discuss about academics, where they play, word building goes on, where they celebrate birthdays. Celebration of birthday is there in the regular classes when the entire class sings also. And teacher prepares, and normally it was a hard card which was being presented on birthdays, but now it's a I-card which is being e-card rather, which is being presented to the children during the class, and the children are writing in the chat windows, happy birthday, teacher writing, God bless you, and all those things. But here they have their mics on, they have their videos on, the camera on, and they're singing, dancing, many a times playing the typical most loved Antakshri also with the children. And then the parents also start singing. So it's such a good environment when it comes to the students' well-being call. And they say, we just love this, And so students also have the well-being call. So this aspect of emotional and social well-being, everything we're trying to keep it up, remember it. And I'm sure every school is doing, and this is what every school should do. Take care of the family, the bigger family, the family of children, the teachers and the parents. Yes, please. And this is most important. During this COVID times, the teachers available 24/7 to the students. This Teams, if some of us are using it, the link is alive. The children keep writing in whatever they feel like. Initially, when we didn't have the well-being call, they were writing something or the other. I've done questions, ma'am. I finished my exercise. I have this doubt, and that made us go for those office hours, and that made us go for well-being calls. But still the teachers are available to the students 24/7, and the coordinators are also available to the students and the parents. And of course, this principal is available to all the teachers and all the coordinators 24/7. The policy is that please do not sleep with a problem, sleep over with a problem. Sort it out on the same day. Misunderstandings will pull us down. Our team spirit would be affected. Sort it out before you go to sleep. And so availability is there 24/7. And that's what all schools should be doing during COVID times. Yes, please. Yes. I come back to from where we started. What should the schools do during COVID times? During COVID times, I said 17 goals are there. And these 17 goals, if all of us work for it, it'll be a sustainable world. They're as simple as no poverty, no hunger, there's good health and well-being. This is quality, goal number 3. Then quality education is 4. Gender equality, then life on land, life below water, and then reduced inequality, sustainable cities, peace, justice, and strong institution. So all these there are 17 goals. And that 17 goals, if we all work for, this would be a beautiful world where it will be peace and justice would prevail. And for all this, we have to partner. And goal number 17 is partnership for goals. So what should the schools do during pandemic time? They need to take care of the health and well-being of their students. They need to take care of the health and well-being of the educators. They need to take care of the health and well-being of all the sevadars, all the support team which is there. They need to take care of everybody, the total school community, they need to understand the parents' challenges. They need to understand everything. That's what the school should do. And that's what we are rising up to do. And then what else should the schools do apart from taking care of the good health? The examinations were extended because of this. Quality education. Quality education is all about inclusiveness. Quality education is all about equity. We tried a level best, or rather, initially when we started with remote learning, we felt that everybody should be, it should be made open to the small little village Chak Hakim and the town which we belong to, Phagwara. And we did invite every person. We said, yes, you can join us. And even many children from Delhi schools also, where remote learning had not started so early. So I told my teachers, open your arms, your friends, relatives, niece and nephew, anywhere in India, they can join. And we had children from Bangalore also joining us. So initially, everybody joined us in the month of April, went up till first week of May or so, and then they went to their own schools when the school decided they have to go for remote learning. So that was open arms welcome, that was reaching out, that was supporting for quality education, that was equity as far as we could do it. And the 17th goal, which all schools should work for, is partnership for goals. 16 goals, 17th is partnership. If we partner, all of us, today we are partnering with so many teachers talking about, we partnership, partnering for quality education. And when we do all these things, we actually rising up. So let's all rise up, all schools to rise up, all teachers to rise up for partnership of the goals. We need to rise up for good health and well-being. We need to rise up for quality education. When we say we, it is all the school worldwide. Yes, please. Yeah, talked about building tomorrow today, right? We need to build that tomorrow today. We need to build the students with 21st century skills. It's your job, my job, it's our job. We need to build communities of learning today during this COVID time and make the best use of this. We need to build resilience. We need to rise up. Are we here, my beloved teachers, to read history, which millions write? Or are we here to write history which millions would read? I'm sure all frontline workers, the teachers, would just love to write history so that the coming generation would read that when pandemic occurred, how we rose up, how we build our students and develop their 21st century skills, how we, empowered ourselves, and how we build resilience. With this, I'm open to questions. I thought I need to hurry up. So it's 35 minutes on. We can talk and we can ask. You can ask me as many questions as you want. I'm there to answer, please.
Sure. Thank you. Thanks a lot, Paramjeet, ma'am. So I definitely I'd request you to once the session is over, please go back and see this video on YouTube, and please go through the comment section as well, because they're full of appreciation, and I'm sure you'll have a lovely time going through the comments. So you should definitely make it a point to go through the comment section today. Once the
Okay,
session is
sure.
over. There was actually sure. So we had Dr. Anuradha Chatterjee joining us today, and she was, and this is just a comment, and she was absolutely blown away by the whole concept of well-being calls that that you've been doing, and she really appreciates, and that's something which a lot of teachers who've joined us today have picked up on. Absolutely incredible. There was a question which I saw. It was from Mr. Jamil, and Mr. Jamil was interested to know a little bit more about how you've gone about evaluating students during the pandemic, and he was more interested to know about how the evaluation is going on.
Yes,
So
yes,
if you could
I would definitely
yeah,
like to talk about it. Let me open that particular slide here in my phone so that I can tell
sure,
you what tools we use and
sure,
how did we go about. Uh, See,
sure,
it was just a second. I'm just taking a minute, and I'll be there.
sure, sure.
Mr. Jamil, evaluation during pandemic was not a priority at all for us. Academic evaluation was not a priority. What was important was we had a double pronged strategy, you may call it, right? And the purpose of the strategy was that if we could hone the skills, bridging the gap could always be done. We have been teaching our students religiously. We have been teaching, the children have been involved, the doubts have been cleared, they're submitting everything. So we wanted that, could we develop that collaboration amongst the students? So we gave them a topic. Say, for example, what example should I take? Say Newton's three laws of motion in grade 9. All right. So these three laws, the children were supposed to actually give a presentation and on these three laws. And different groups of children were given different presentation. The children shared the screen, and they were so good to the fact that they picked up all that the teachers were doing. And if one couldn't share the screen, they would say that, that may I share the screen, please. That was so reassuring to all of us. They would, and then, it was group evaluation which was happening. So one tool was used over there, and that was preparing the PowerPoint presentation. And they were collaboratively doing it together also. And every 2 slides, this child is going to give, 2 slides, this child is going to give. So they went, this is one such example. They prepared Sway and they presented it. The world of tomorrow need communication skills. The world of tomorrow need concepts to be cleared. All right. And we prepare them for the world of tomorrow. The world of tomorrow is all about gaming in education. So we use Kahoot, that they should know what Kahoot is. We used Wakelet, and how I only talked about this evaluation. How we gave the results, I never talked about it. The results was using Adobe web page. All right. All activities of a child which was there in the chat window, how he shared his lessons, what he said, what he spoke, and activities he was doing, all those pictures were put on that Adobe web page. And the teachers prepared it with the grading being done at the end for all the activities they had done. All right. So the purpose was ICT enhancement, the skills to be learned by the students and the skills to be done by the children. We never went for pure assessment, even went for open book test in the senior classes. For 9th class, for 10th class, we said, open this book. Let's see whether, the answer is in between the lines. Open book test is one of the most difficult tests. You just don't find a direct answer. If you have read your lesson 10 times, not 10 times, 2-3 times at least, only then you will be able to give the answer. So the creativity was at the best. PowerPoint presentations were made. Microsoft Sway was being used. Flipgrid. They had to record the answers and give it. What were we doing? We were developing that confidence. Public speaking was enhanced. This has been a golden period of my children learning all these skills, which we could not have done in the next 5 years also. This is what has happened. We could never have enhanced the IT skills of my teachers and even me, I'm a senior citizen, let me tell you. But then struggled. Microsoft Showcase School, I was pretty into IT. But then matching the steps of these youngsters, these boys and girls, and these young teachers has always been a challenge. Nothing stopped me. I'm there, standing firmly on the ground, and have empowered myself with ICT. In a good, means even my learning has extended. In school, principals are spoiled people. Every, people from the IT department would come and say, "Ma'am, I'll do it for you. I'll just paste it for you, this link." My God, this woman had to do everything herself. She learned sharing screen with her teachers. Today, you need to teach me this. But pandemic never stopped me. Pandemic never stopped my children. Pandemic never stopped my teachers. We are those passionate group of educators, 85 odd of us, who have done our bit. They had to write the answers on Padlet. We did everything. We did Minecraft, great gaming also. And for different classes, different tools were there. That's evaluation. So
Sure.
ICT, yes.
Sure. And there's another question. I'm probably going to pin it on the screen. So someone by the name of Manam SSC has joined us, and he's asking, being a promoter of education, what should we do to strengthen creative expressions of rural students, both in speaking and learning, which is a great challenge before us during this period?
Oh, my child, I don't know, my child or my son or my daughter, whosoever it is. But we cater for children from 65 villages, first generation learner, rural background, right? And what do the parents want? They say, Madam, teach my child how to use computers and teach him how to speak English. Two agendas of these children, and that's what we work for. As far as possible, we do it. Even, and now what's happening? When this remote learning session is going on using Microsoft Teams, a child of nursery, kindergarten, for him, the school is a screen. He's never been to the school. He's sitting in the laps of his mother and watching the teacher. He's writing A, alphabet ABC, on, sometime that the teachers send a message beforehand, please make sure that some sand is there. Please, let's write it in the air. They're writing in the air. The parents are wonderful parents who have been collaborating to the extent our remote learning, no blowing trumpets, but I'm talking about some facts here. Our school is a K-12 school. There are some schools in Phagwara and around which are up till only grade 10. We had 150 new admissions in grade 11 because our remote learning was going on in a big way and people were talking about it. All right. So we had so much of admissions this year. It is this passion which was speaking. We don't, never ever, we are just 13 years young, the school is. We have never put a banner or a poster in the city for admissions. It is the word of mouth. We can't afford so much of money, putting 1 lakh for a board. We can't do it. But yes, we can work very, very hard. And that's what we did, work very, very hard. All right. And so the challenges, of course, are there. But remember, where there's a will, there's a way. If you really want to do it, you find your way. All right. See, we did so many activities. So it is possible. Everything is possible in this world. So go ahead, do it. You can always connect with me.
Sure, absolutely. We'll share Paramjit ma'am's coordinates with you for sure, ma'am.
Yeah, no issues.
Sure. So Ms. Nalini has a question, and she I think wants to check if there's something special that you're doing for primary school kids.
Yes. Again, it's the Microsoft Teams app which is very helpful. Reading is such a big challenge. Initially, when we started, we started reinventing ourselves, reinventing learning, reinventing education. Initially, when we started, we said, you have to meet yourself. You're not going to unmute yourself, come what may. That's not fair. Please don't unmute. And we realized it was a one-sided affair. And we had lost even we thought. We didn't hear the voice. We were restless. And we said, let's have reading classes now. So then went the ice cream stick with numbers. You write the names and you pick up the stick and anybody. So that's what we do it physically in the classroom. So the child is called out and the child reads. We started having the voices of the children in the class. Primary classes, you can definitely read. We are following the same books, but the presentations the teachers are preparing, they're amazing. See, for us in Kamla Nehru Public School, children everywhere are the same, teachers everywhere are the same. It's the moral duty of a teacher to help every fellow teachers. You want to share presentations, you want us to share a presentation, we'll see how we can do it. You use those presentations if you want. And then they're activity based. For example, I remember one of my headmistress, Harpreet ma'am, saying that, ma'am, when the Hindi lesson had nimbu pani banana ki vidhi or something like that, and then the children were actually made to do it, which we could have never done it in school. A note goes earlier, bhai kal nimbu pani banana hai. Make sure you have sugar, you have some salt, and you have water ready. And the teacher was making it in her house, the children were making it in their house. So that's what we did. We are creating ourselves. When it comes to, now you might be wondering what physical education during remote learning. And what does my physical education teacher does? He will put a pillow on his head and start balancing it. We would make a zigzag line and then the teacher would go. They would skip and the children would skip. They would play tippy tap, what color do you want? And the child has to leave the screen, run and get a purple color if the teacher says purple. So all this, so we have to still go for that activity, creativity, lots of innovation to go for that.
Sure. And there's a comment by Ms. Abhilasha Shaw, and I know Abhilasha ma'am, she is the headmistress of DPS Jodhpur. And Abhilasha ma'am is saying amazing talk and insight by Ms. Paramjeet, feeling that all of us as teachers and principals have actually seen a transition for excellence in these testing times. Absolutely
Yes.
agree with the sentiment.
Thank you, Abhilasha. We all have been working hard. Thank you.
And then Ranjana ma'am says that you're an inspiration for all teachers.
Oh, I've got a fabulous team. They are the inspiration actually for me. They give me energy.
And Ms. Shabana wants to share an experience of her, and she's saying, yes, my many students are doing extremely well. We get online recorded replies from students, even from those who are otherwise considered introverts. So that's
Thank you.
working well for her. I'm just trying
Yeah,
to
yeah.
fish out questions in a sea of appreciation, comments of appreciation. So it's just
Right.
taking a bit of a time. So a bit of time. So okay, so there's a question by Ms. Pranjali Bhagwat, and she's asking for mental health. How do you ensure mental well-being among senior graders during this period?
See, number one, as a principal, I address them often on. Today, I addressed two classes. It was my seventh class and eighth class. And they said, Madam, we are feeling as if we are in the morning assembly. I said, "Well, switch on your cameras. How are you, my dear? Are you doing this? So I had a half an hour talk with them. I have it regularly with my 11th class, 12th class, 10th class, 9th class. I have no issues at all talking to the children. I can go on and on with them. They are my beloved children. I can do anything for them, right? That was one thing, beginning. Then we had some special doctors being called for the well-being. We have lovely university very close to our school, and we have lots of collaboration. So from there, we had a psychologist. He talked about not to worry. You're not the only one in this pandemic. The world is facing through the pandemic. Why should you be the only one to worry? So then the anxiety we talked about, and then the pathological and anxiety with the fear of it might happen. What will happen if the school never opens? We are in grade 12. And then they say we can't even see each other. Then that's where when we had the together mode, we'll put them in a class and they could see each other friends. They would wave, they would have the victory sign. So plenty of counseling sessions. Even the career counseling sessions were created. We would invite guests and they would speak. So team has a beautiful feature wherein 250 students and now 300 of them can attend at one go. So I told you 140 children are outsiders in my grade 11. The culture of the school, they have to adopt it. So they have not even seen the school. So they were so concerned. We've not seen. We wanted to take them for a virtual tour to the school. We're trying to do everything possible. We're having special sessions for them when it comes to mental health and well-being. And then, we have an electronic suggestion box where they can write. I got a mail also once from my student. I replied back. The child was facing through some challenges, but somehow we could save her. Save her. And that is a sad.
Ms. Amrita has a question on involving parents, and she's asking how do we encourage the parents for making them aware about education in rural areas during the pandemic. So her question
Oh,
is more on the involvement of the parents in community.
no, all the parents are sitting. In our school, everybody is attending the class. We are not teaching one child in a class. In a house, we're teaching the families. Because we actually are. I said they're sitting in the mother's lap. The children, today also when I was talking, so the child says, my mother is sitting at the back. Can she come and meet you and say hello? I said, yes, she can. And we did lots of namaste and sasrikal to so many parents. In our case, it doesn't happen overnight. It's a relationship. We have built this relationship with the parents. We have won over their hearts, not just now. This is the way it's functioning. We never had any issues and challenges. We are open to suggestions and criticism, right? So this is some years it takes. You can start now. Nothing is impossible. And then, all my teachers are so polite when they're talking. And they say, ma'am, we're so happy all of you talk so lovingly, so politely. My child, my beloved, my sweetheart, my darling is something which I keep saying. That's the culture, that's language, that's the connect. That's what they love to hear. Who would like to be fired during a remote learning? Which teacher would like the principal firing at a teacher? Nobody would like. Which student would like teacher getting angry at the child? Nobody would like. In this time, patience is important. Empathy is important. Tolerance of some activity which you don't like is important. If we can do all this, I'm sure we can manage this tough time.
Seema Mama has an interesting
Yes, when
tidbit.
it comes to parents,
So,
common goal we say, you want your child to do well, we want a child to do well, so let's join hands and work for our child. That's getting the parents on board.
and Miss Seema shared a tip that she's used. She's saying, while doing a chapter on forests, I made the children prepare a salad and then discussed what we get from trees. So
That's a lovely.
that's interesting.
Yeah, creativity personified. That's what we need to do, Seema. That's exactly what we need to do in these times.
Another appreciation comment. I mean, in Twitter we'd call it an appreciation tweet, but here we'll call it an appreciation comment. Mr. Devajyoti says, other heads of schools should learn from you and your organization for the wonders your team are knitting.
Oh, I'm blessed, you know. I'm so lucky to have wonderful teachers. They are fabulous. The culture, and we all follow that culture.
I think we've tried answering all the questions, Ma'am, and it's not just people from India who've joined us. We've had someone joining us from Philippines, someone from Maldives. So I mean, so we've had audience from across the globe joining us in this session today. Um, I think we've covered most of the questions. Uh, and there's another comment by Miss Vinut Sharma, and she's saying there was a time where teachers were in the pandemic situation where the parents were against the use of technology, but now they're happy about teaching through technology. So that's the
Right.
transition that we were talking about.
Pandemic has taught us so much. We are having now class shows, right? Just to add, I missed on it. We're having class shows where the theme is kindness. And for 1 full month, two children from a class is supposed to tell what kindness activity they have done. They come and share it. Little ones are it's so lovely to hear them. They'll say, I gave a glass of water to my grandmother. I took my grandfather for a walk in the house itself. And I helped my mother. Lots of children are helping their mothers. They've learned cooking. There was one of the mother today during the session. She said, Madad karti hai. She started helping me. But that was one thing which I urged upon, help your parents. So,
And so there's a question. Probably this could be the final question. Pooja ma'am is asking. She says that she teaches in a Hindi medium school in Uttar Pradesh, and the students unfortunately do not take a lot of interest in online studies. How should she go about encouraging uh, those students? So that's what her question is.
okay. You just can't take everybody to teaching. Maybe you could have some fun activities. Maybe you could use Kahoot. It's a very nice tool as such. कुछ मजे लगाइए. The joy of learning should be there. जरूरी है वो difficult question paper डालना होता है. क्यों डालना है? जरूरी है कि आपने seriously पढ़ाना है. उसमें add some fun factors. मुझे अब याद है हमने हिंदी लेसन कैसे किया था अभी रिसेंटली इट वाज ग्रेड 7 right we had that student learning and one chapter we said कि अब ये बच्चे पढ़ाएंगे भाई तो हमारे टीचर मीनाक्षी मैम है हिंदी के उन्होंने बच्चों को लेसन बताया उन्होंने गाइड किया and the children were there at different places they took the characters of those which were there in the lesson and they dressed up like that और उन्होंने अपना जो पार्ट था वो हिंदी में बोला और बाकी जो सेक्शन से सब सुन रहे थे देख रहे थे मुझे खास मेहमान के तौर पे बुलाया गया हिंदी सेक्शन में आई वाज वेरी वेरी हैप्पी टू जॉइन देम एंड अप्रिशिएट देम सो पूजा पॉसिबल है ढूंढो तरीके फाइंड आउट अंदर खोज करो अपने कि क्या करूं मैं मेरे बच्चे नहीं सीख रहे व्हाट कैन आई डू आई हैव टू डू समथिंग फायदा क्या उस पढ़ाई का जहां लर्निंग ऑब्जेक्टिव्स ही मीट ना कर पाए आउटकम्स ही ना हो सो लेट्स डू समथिंग स्पेशल it's possible.
And then we have a classic case of learning and implementing it on the go. So there's Mr. Muhammad Humayu. who's just given an activity to his students that they have to create a rap song based on chemistry, biology, social sciences concepts and concepts. So you just talked about that, and he's gone ahead and just and implemented it. So a classic case of learning and doing. So
Thank you. Thank
absolutely
you.
incredible.
Thank you. Thank you, Mohammed. That's great. अरे करो ना periodic table का पूरे का. The entire periodic table should be wrapped. It is for helium and it is hydrogen and it is helium. Do what you want. Actually, we underestimate our children. We don't take them to the level. हमारी अपनी level सोच में कमी है. We don't think to that level. If you give a challenge to the child is going to do it. The problem is the mental blocks in the heads and hearts. Children will not be able to do it. We begin with that. But they can do much more than what we do. Let's, let our horizon be higher. That's important. That's what is required. And I'm so happy, Muhammad. We never thought about this rapid learning. I'll go and do it now. Thank you for giving me ideas. We did go for COVID raps, but not for raps in education. We'll do that. See how mutual it is learning.
Sure. So I think on that note, we'll call it a day. We won't call it a day yet because we have a quiz coming up for all of us who are in here. I think there were around, I think at a point, some 500, 600 teachers who were live. So we still have around 400 of us, in the session. So we're going to play a small quiz, and I'm going to share. This is on Mentimeter, and those of you who have attended a few of our sessions, some of the My Center orientation sessions know that we at CENTA love Mentimeter. So we are going to use Mentimeter again, this time to conduct a quiz. And so here are the rules. I'm going to share my screen, and you'll see a code. So you need to go to www.menti.com and enter that code therein, and there'll be 3 questions which are going to come one after the other. And we'll also have the right answers for all the questions. So the person who answers the question correctly and also faster than others do, they'll get more points. So the prize here is we are giving out scholarships for the Center Teaching Professionals Olympiad, or TPO, which, as all of you know, is our flagship international competition for teachers. And this year, TPO is fully online, and you can take it from wherever you want. It's a 2-stage competition, and again, we have a bunch of subjects that you can choose from. So what we decided is that every Thursday, after the session, we're going to play a quiz, and the top 5 winning teachers from that quiz, they get a scholarship. The person who tops the quiz, they'll get to take the TPO for free, absolutely no cost at all, while the other 4 will get a scholarship of rupees 200 each. So that's what we are going to do. So let me share my screen, and please let me know once my screen is visible, and let's see who can or who wins this quiz. So I'm super excited. I'm sure all of you would be as well. So is my screen visible? If it's visible, could you please give me like a thumbs up, a yes, and all? I'm just waiting for a few. Vinod ma'am, this is Vinod ma'am. This is actually a quiz that we're going to play. And you're requested to go to menti.com, www.menti.com, and enter in the code 6787519. So that's the code. After you enter in the code, you'll be asked to fill in your name, and 3 questions are going to appear like any quiz, one after the other, we'll have 3 questions coming in, and whosoever gets the answers right is going to win. And we're going to have 4 winners. So I can see a few people have already joined in, and I'm just going to wait for a couple of more minutes for everyone to join. I just see 9 people, in the quiz right now. Okay, numbers increasing. Good, because if it was 9, then it would have been a cakewalk for everyone in the quiz. It's 5 out of 9. So that's like you're gonna win for sure. So I'll request everyone to go to www.menti.com and type in the code 6787519. That's the code for the quiz. Okay. Yeah, Rashmi ma'am, the code is 6787519. That is the code. I see 33 teachers already in, but that's still a small number. That there's still a 300 of us in the session, so let's just try and be in there. Ranjana ma'am, the code is 6787519. Okay, we've hit the 50 mark. No, not yet, but still that's a smaller number. So I'm going to give a couple of more minutes, and then we'll start. So 57. Gandhimati ma'am, you need to go to menti.com, www.menti.com, and enter the code 6787519. Menti, menti.com. That's the website. That's the website for the quiz, Mr. Harsh. So that's where you need to go to. Uh, okay, I think I'm going to get started, and probably in case you're not able to join the quiz, this week's quiz, we're going to have a quiz every week, so please feel free to join that. Uh, so answer fast to get more points. As I said, so that's the first question. Which level do the verbs recognize, list, label, and name when used in a lesson typically refer to? The options are comprehension level, application level, knowledge level, and synthesis level. So, so you just have 15 seconds remaining. Which level do the verbs recognize, list, label, name when used in a lesson typically refer to? So, okay, time's up. Okay, so 34 people answer knowledge level, which is the correct answer. So, let's see who got it right. I think we have a leaderboard coming up. Yeah. So Miss Renu Venugopal Nair, Miss Nisha T, Miss Deepa G, Miss Varsha Raichur, and Miss Archana. Uh, they are the ones who are in pole position. So fastest was Miss Renu Venugopal Nair. Congratulations, Renu ma'am. Let's move on to the second question and see how many of us are able to get this one right. So this is the second question. It's loading now. What is the main purpose of the technological approach called flipped classroom? What is flipped classroom for? So, to explain specific topics where visual aids will be more powerful, to increase discussion or interaction time in the classroom, to allow students at different learning levels get custom input or customized input, or to reduce the teacher's work by getting students to learn at home. What do you think is the correct answer? What is the purpose of the technological approach called flipped classroom? You've got the options there. Okay, time's up. Let's see. Okay, so most of you have gone with option C, but that's not the correct option. Option B is the correct answer. So the purpose of the technological approach called flipped classroom is to increase discussion or interaction time in the classroom. Let's see if the leaderboard has undergone changes. Okay, so Miss Nisha T is in pole position now, and she's followed by Mr. Debajyoti Bhattacharji. Miss Komala is there, Miss Kirubavati is there, and Miss Aarti is there. So they complete the pole positions of the leaderboard. So that's the second question, and we move on to the last question, and let's see how many of you get this one right. And here's the last question. Um, a teacher wants to improve the learning levels of his students and has been advised to form mixed groups for activities. What does this imply? What do mixed groups for activities imply? Does it mean form groups of boys and girls together to ensure diversity? Mix division A and division B students so that all of the students can learn from each other? Bunch together students with interests in different subjects? Or bunch together students with different learning levels? So what does this mean? What is the concept of forming mixed groups for activities? What does it imply? So last 3 seconds. Let's see how many of you get this one right. Okay, so it's a landslide, and I think most of you have gotten D, have answered D, and that is the correct answer. The purpose of forming mixed groups is to bunch together students with different learning levels. So let's see the final leaderboard. Uh, okay, so Miss Nisha is in pole position, and no, not really, Mr. Debajyoti Bhattacharya. So congratulations, sir. You are the winner, and you get a full, you get a complete scholarship on the CENTA teaching quotient. Congratulations. I am somehow not able to see the names of the four below you, but we'll share the results, and all of you will get a scholarship on the CENTA teaching quotient. So that's and you'll hear from us soon on email. So that's what is going to happen. So as I said, I mean, if you liked these questions, this is just a sample. I mean, and TPO is full of such questions, and over the last 5 years, what has helped TPO reach what it is right now is the fact that teachers across the country and the world have loved the questions. In case you love these questions, please go ahead and register for the CENTA Teaching Professionals Olympiad on our website, centa.org. As I said, it's a fully online competition this year. Unlike previous years, you don't have to go to a center to take it up. You can be where you are and take it from the comfort of your home. So, I hope all of you do that. And in case you missed out on this quiz, not a problem at all. We're going to have multiple rounds of this every, we're not stopping anytime soon. Every Thursday, after the webinar, we are going to have a quiz and, take part in that. And, maybe, who knows, tomorrow, I mean, it's today's Debajyoti Search Day and tomorrow could be yours. So, just keep trying. So, thank you once again. I saw a couple of questions on the feedback form. The feedback form is there. It's in the chat section. I'm going to put the link again so that you fill that in by 9 p.m. today, so that we are able to generate your participation records and send them to you on email by noon tomorrow. So please make sure that you fill that in. That's pretty much it from our side. Thank you once again, Paramjeet ma'am. It was wonderful. It was an incredible session, and all of us loved it. And as I said, please make sure that you go through the live chat replay at night tonight after you're done with after the day is over, because I'm sure you're gonna love it. It's absolutely incredible. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you for the support. Thank you. Great evening
Thank you.
ahead.
Thank you, ma'am. I hope all of you have a wonderful evening ahead. And, next Thursday, we are going to have an incredible session on climate change. And we are partnering with Climate Action Project 2020. Some of you might remember that we had, Mr. Cohen Timmers, a session with Mr. Cohen Timmers I think it was on 5th September, it was on Teachers' Day. And Mr. Cohen had talked about his project called the Climate Action Project. So that project is going to, the main session of that project is scheduled for next Thursday. It's going to start at 5 p.m. India time, and it's going to continue till 10:30. So there are a bunch of sessions lined up. The registrations are open on my center, and we have a whole roster of incredible thought leaders. Like Dr. Jane Goodall, Mr. Richard Attenborough, Mr. Shashi Tharoor is there. So it's an incredible roster of thought leaders lined up, and we have we're going to be having incredible sessions through the whole period of 5.5 hours. Registrations are open on my center and .centa.org from your mobile browser. So, and also you'll get an email from us on the same shortly. So please make sure that you register yourself and also spread the word and get more teachers in. So that's pretty much it from our side. Hope you have a wonderful evening ahead. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.